Zamfara State University, Zamfara secures approval of JAMB to admit students into the institution. Zamfara inaugurates committees for Special Public Works Program. IGP tasked CPs of Edo and Ondo on preparation for by-elections. On business, dollar scarcity forces Naira down. And on the international scene, Ghana extends olive branch to Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Oniyola. The Zamfara State University has secured the approval of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board to admit applicants who scored 150 points and above into its various undergraduate programs for the 2019/2020 and 2020/2021 academic session. A statement from the institution advised interested applicants, especially of Zamfara origin who apply to other institutions and now wish to change their choice, can visit the nearest JAMB office and change their first choice of university as Zamfara University. The statement said interested applicants are required to proceed to the JAMB office along with their registration slip and JAMB result to purchase a green card for the change. Applicants are also advised to uphold their O-level result on the JAMB profile to enable the university to process their admissions. Zamfara State Commissioner for Environment and Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Nuruddin Issa, vowed that anybody caught engaging in illegal mining activities despite ban would be prosecuted. Dr. Issa renewed the warning when he visited the Sauna mining site following an allegation by the Zamfara-based licensed miner Alhaji Shamsuddin Sani Dahiru that the sole administrator of the Latamafara local government area has trespassed into his site and currently engaging in illegal mining activities on the Sauna mining field. The commissioner warned the people to, as a matter of public importance, to desist from engaging in mining activities in the state, as federal government has banned all forms of mining in the state in the last 8 months. Dr. Issa said no one has any right to claim over any area of mining. That is why he is at the Sauna mining site to ensure that nobody is in any of the site. The commissioner assured that if mining ban is lifted by the federal government, all mining activities will be subjected to scrutiny to guard against it being used by bad elements in the state and outside the state. Zamfara State Governor Dr. Bello Matawale Marado has promised to enact law that will pronounce death sentence on reckless drivers who lead to death in the state. A statement by the Director General Media, Public Enlightenment and Communication, Alhaji Yusuf Idris Gusau, said the governor also said reckless drivers will be made to pay compensation for every life loss. The governor made a pledge when he led members of the State Executive Council and the management of BUA Group to a condolence visit to the Emir of Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, over the death of 15 persons who lost their lives in a ghastly accident along Futua Gusau Road on Wednesday. He said his administration will introduce speed limit gauge on highways as well as weight measurement for trucks. Governor Matawale added that drug tests will also be carried out on drivers in order to guard against rough and reckless driving, which usually end up in fatalities. He said the measures had become necessary so that drivers and their families will no longer think they will have it easy if the driver kills anyone, as the lives of the citizens of the state are more valuable than any other thing. The Zamfara State Committee for the Federal Government Extended Special Public Works Program has inaugurated local government committees in Zamfara Central and Western zones to start implementation. The state coordinator of the program, Engineer Ahmed Garubayandi, inaugurated a committee at the palaces of Emir of Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, and that of Anka Alhaji Mohammed Attahiru Ahmed, respectively. Engineer Garuba charged the committee members to ensure compliance with the guidelines governing the program and deserving people as targeted by the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. He explained that the 1,000 job per local government would employ unskilled citizens who will occupy 80% and 20% of skilled. Emir of Gusau and Anka Alhaji Ibrahim Bello and Alhaji Mohammed Attahiru Ahmed promised to ensure proper selection of the beneficiaries. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State distribute over 880 million naira to Community Promotion Council from the 44 local government for the rehabilitation of primary schools within a period of 3 weeks. The governor gave the assurance that his administration will continue to finance education, being the bedrock for societal development, emphasizing that it is because of the importance they attach to the sector that the budgetary provision for education is over 26%. He made a disclosure during the presentation exercise of 20 billion naira to branches of Community Production Council across the 44 local government for the renovation of some selected primary schools across the state, held at Sani Abacha Indoor Stadium, Kofaramata. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Adamu, has ordered the Edo and Ondo State Commissioners of Police to review preparations ahead of the forthcoming governorship elections in the two states. The Force Public Relations Officer, Mr. Frank Umba, quoted the IG in a statement he issued on Sunday in Abuja. IGP Adamu disclosed that the directive was to accommodate and address the threat and emerging trend as contained in the Election Security Threat Assessment Report. Mr. Umba said the IG gave the order after reviewing the assessment report submitted by the CPs from Edo and Ondo State ahead of the election slated for September 19 and October 10, 2020 respectively. It appears the event that occurred between ex-minister Femi Fani Kayode and Daily Trust reporter Charles Ayo is not going away, as the newspaper on Sunday wrote an editorial about the event and the former minister. African Examiner had reported how the ex-minister had verbally assaulted a reporter at a press conference in Calabar where the ex-minister was on a tour to inspect some project of Governor Ayade, and the reporter had asked who was bankrolling his trip as he had previously been to other states. The ex-minister lost his cool and instead of answering the question, he verbally assaulted the reporter and angrily left the press conference. A video of this event emerged on social media and Femi Fani Kayode faced a lot of backlash, who later apologized for what happened. However, it appears that the late trust are yet to sheath their sword, as again they wrote an editorial about the minister and his past deeds. In the editorial written by the paper titled FFK, the Drug Adult Thug in Designer Wears, the newspaper argued that despite the level of education of the ex-minister, it has not reflected in his behavior. Alright, viewers, we'll go on a short commercial break, and when we come back, Standard Voice Television News continues. Welcome back on Business. Aguirita has more detail.
Welcome to Standard Voice Business Update. Scarcity of dollar at the parent market on Tuesday in Lagos falls the naira down to 480 to $1. The News Agency of Nigeria reported that the pound sterling and the euro exchange are 610 and 550 respectively. Trading at the inverter window saw the naira closing at 385.98 naira to $1, as inverter was traded a total of $20.7 million. The naira, however, was sold at 381 naira to $1 at the official Central Bank of Nigeria CBN window. The CBN had relied on the nation's foreign reserve and the diaspora remittances in its intervention at the foreign exchange market. But recent data from the CBN showed that the nation's foreign reserve fell by $544.94 million from $36.17 billion on July 1st to $35.62 billion on August 3rd. The country depends heavily on petrodollars to shore up its foreign reserve. And that's Long Standard Voice Business Update. I'm Agwarita.
And on the international scene, following the riot act read by the federal government to hostility towards Nigerians in Ghana, the Ghanaian authorities has extended the olive branch promising commitment to warm relations with Nigeria. In a statement issued on Sunday, the Ghanaian authorities said it will engage the federal government of Nigeria with a view to resolve comprehensively and exhaustively matters that have the potential to sour relations between the two countries. The statement, signed by the Ghana Minister of Information Opang Nkrumah, was made available to newsmen in Abuja by the Nigeria Ministry of Information and Culture. It could be recalled that the federal government had in a statement on Saturday said it would no longer tolerate the incessant harassment of its citizens in Ghana and the progressive act of hostility towards the country by Ghanaian authorities. The statement, signed by the Nigeria Ministry of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, noted that the government was urgently considering a number of options aimed at ameliorating the situation. Mr. Mohammed had listed the documented acts of hostility towards Nigerians and the authorities by Ghana in a statement. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara State University, Talata Mafara, secures approval of JAMB to admit students into the institution. Zamfara inaugurate committees for Special Public Works Program. IGP tasked CPs of Edo and Ondo on preparation for by-elections. On business, dollar scarcity forces Naira down. And on the international scene, Ghana extends olive branch to Nigeria. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew and head of news and current affairs department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garabatinyo, I still remain Musa Joy Onyoza. Stay tuned.